Good morning. I'm back here. Good morning. I'm back here. Sorry, there's a bit of delay before it tells me I'm live, so I may have been a bit silent for a few moments there. So I'm back here this morning. Thank you if you were with me yesterday. Thank you for your support. Where am I today? I'm actually a bit headachy today, but I wanted to come here not because I felt I should or I ought to, but because I wanted to be here with you this morning. And I also wanted to come back to this practice that I introduced yesterday of alternate nostril breathing. Nadi sodhana is called in Sanskrit, because I felt, well, partly because I feel it would be useful for me today, and partly because it was a bit of a spontaneous thing yesterday, and I feel I would like to introduce it and go through it with a little more clarity, in case it's a practice that you want to continue for yourselves. I'd also be interested on a technical point of view. If anyone's got any comments about whether the quality of this video is okay, I'm using Facebook's new system, and as I'm watching it, it keeps flashing while I watch, and I don't know whether that's anything to do with the quality of the connection in the video. So no need to tell me now, but afterwards it would be lovely if you could just tell me if it was easy to watch or if there were any problems. Anyway, I've set myself up so you can see my hands on my knees this morning. But before we come into that, I wanted to, one of the reasons I was feeling the way I was yesterday is I've been feeling very overwhelmed recently. It felt like there was a lot of stuff that I needed to do, that I was committed to. And really a lot of things going on. Yeah, too much busyness, I suppose. And it's really interesting because in the last 24 hours, everything that I had scheduled for today has been postponed one way or another. And in fact, earlier this week, something happened which has taken a huge commitment off my plate on an ongoing basis. And it's been a really good reminder that acknowledging what we want, focusing on it, brings it about. And when I was stuck in worrying about the fact that I had to do these things, they were still there. But once I started to move into a place of really trusting that I was going to be able to not do them, they've been lifted. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm feeling a bit headachy today, so I don't know what the next couple of days brings for me. I don't know whether I'm going to find I get a migraine, in which case I may not be here tomorrow. If I don't appear tomorrow morning, that's why. But either way, when I finish this morning's practice, I'm going to go back to bed. And if that sounds like a good idea to you and you're in a position to do so, then why don't you do the same thing? Anyway, let's come to the practice, the breathing practice, pranayama. Awareness of breath is one translation. This practice, which is the same one that we did together yesterday, is called in Sanskrit nadi sodhana, which translates as alternate nostril breathing. And as I mentioned, it's possible to do this through physically using one's hand to block one nostril at a time. But this is a much subtler way of doing it. It trusts the body, and it's my preferred way. And we use mudras, hand gestures, and this particular hand gesture is known as the padma, hasta mudra, which translates more or less as lotus hand gesture. So as I said yesterday, it's as if the two hands become lotus flowers, or if it feels better for you, tulip flowers, which is particularly appropriate for you, Beverly, if you're watching this morning, having seen your post about the beautiful gardens in the Netherlands. So first of all, as always, bringing your awareness to your feet, to your sitting bones, connecting. Finding a comfortable place to sit where you can rest your hands comfortably open on the back of, on your thighs or your knees. And just let your hands rest however they naturally fall. With the palms down, the palms up, the backs of the hands resting on the knees or the thighs. Bring your awareness to the ground, to your sitting bones. Maybe starting to feel that lift through the spine, the release of the shoulders. And simply let your breath come and go in its own easy, gentle way. And obviously, if at any time you want to open your eyes to see what I'm doing with my hands as I explain it, then do so. So a few gentle breaths with your hands simply as they are. And then let the hands open, so you really feel the palms of the hands opening up like a flower opening wide to the warmth of the sun. Continue to take a few breaths with the hands open, not strained or pushed, but just opening from the center of the palm. In fact, there's a chakra in the palm of the hands. So we're opening that chakra to the warmth of the sun. And the sun's just coming through as I speak, which is rather lovely. And simply watch how your breath moves through your body with your hands in that position, that mudra. And then very gently, with both hands together, at the top of a breath, top of an inhalation, bring all the fingertips together to touch the thumb. So each hand closes up like a flower tightening into its bud for nightfall. The tip of each of the four fingers touches the tip of the thumb. And notice what happens to your breath with this change in the shape of the hand. And again, simply follow your breath for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, at the top of an inhalation, allow the left hand only to open wide, keeping the fingers of the right hand together. So inhale, open the left hand, and continue breathing with the hands as they are now, left open, right closed. And watch your breath. And maybe you start to notice how the breath seems to come through the left nostril. How it moves through the whole of the left side of the body. Out to the tips of the fingers, right down to the toes. All the way up through the left side of the neck and the face and the head into the left side of the brain. And in fact, as the left side of the body is activated, the connection, of course, is into the right side of the brain. Our intuitive feeling, emotional brain, side of the brain. And simply watch your breath moving through the left side of your body for a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, at the top of an inhalation, allow the fingers of the left hand to come together and release the right hand. So you exhale out through the right side of the body, the right nostril. And sit with that breath, with the right hand open and receiving, the left hand closed, held, like a lotus or a tulip flower at night. Noticing how the breath moves through the right side of the body. Being aware of how that connects into the left side of the brain, our thinking, analytical brain. The left side of the brain has a connection with the masculine energy that we all have within us, the right side with the feminine energy. So we're also finding balance between those two energies in our bodies and our being. And when you feel ready, at the top of an inhalation, bring the tips of the right hand together and exhale, opening the left hand. Then inhale with the left hand open at the top of the inhalation. Let the fingers of the left hand come together and release the right hand. Exhale, right. Inhale, right, close the fingers. Exhale, left. Inhale, left, let the fingers close. Exhale, right. And if this feels comfortable and helpful for you, continue for as long as you wish to, moving from one side to the other. An exhalation and an inhalation on each side in turn. And if you find you're struggling or you're thinking about it too much, then simply release the hands and come back to your own natural breath whenever that feels right to you. And if you're still using the mudras, the finger hand gestures, next time your left fingers close, bring both fingers together, have the fingers of both hands closed and then release them both at the same time. Doesn't matter if that didn't make sense, but ideally, since we started with the left side open, we finish at the end of the right side open. But if it didn't happen that way, that's fine. And notice how your breath is coming now as your hands relax to wherever they feel most comfortable. Bring your awareness to your connection to the ground, to the lift of your spine, and to the movement of the breath. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for being with me this morning. I hope you find that practice helpful. It's something that we can do at any time. And even just a couple of breaths can be really helpful to find that balance. I hope to be with you tomorrow morning, as I say. If I'm not, it'll be because I've decided to take a day in bed and my head's playing up. But either way, I will see you again soon. Take care.